What's up, Bills Mafia? It's time for our first mock draft here on the Bills Breakdown. My name is Hairston Graham. We're going to do all 7 rounds of the 2025 NFL Draft and figure out what players the Bills end up with. But listen, this channel's new. Our Jets channel is new. They're kind of railing us right now in new subscribers this week. We've picked up 104. They've picked up 250. Let's take down those fraudulent Jets. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. We have free content here on the Bills Breakdown. Okay, you look at the Bills draft capital right now. They've got 3 picks in the top 62 with 30, 56, and 62. That pick coming from Houston. No third-round pick right now. 2 picks in the 4th round, including one from Chicago via the draft day trade last year where they landed Austin Booker. 2 picks in the 5th, 3 in the 6th, 1 from Cleveland, 1 from New York. And then no 7th-round picks. We'll see if any comp picks come Buffalo's way, but that is where things sit right now. Okay, let's dive into it. Round 1, pick 30, Kenneth Grant, the defensive tackle out of the University of Michigan, who's been one of the better interior defensive linemen in college football the past 2 years. Of course, he was a part of that special undefeated national championship team 2 seasons ago in 2023. This year, I thought he played even better overall. Obviously, Michigan didn't have the same caliber of season, but he is just a lot to deal with. I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5", 330, just an absolute massive human being. Moves pretty well, decent pass rusher for that size as well. And I think Buffalo needs to add some depth to that defensive line. Daquan Jones could be a cap casualty this offseason. Grant is someone that you can plug and play as a starter. He could be a backup rotation guy at first, but definitely think long-term he would turn into a starting defensive lineman and give you some pass rush from that one-tech spot I would expect him to play in the NFL. And you pair him with Ed Oliver, who's more of a pass rusher. That's a pretty fun pairing. I really do think that's a good group if they're able to do that. So Kenneth Grant in round 1, definitely a big fan of this. Okay, first, second-round pick here, Maxwell Hairston, the defensive back out of Kentucky, who's been getting a lot of buzz recently. I saw one draft analyst thought he could sneak into round 1, so if he's here at 56, it's good value. Ryan Roberts, A to Z Sports, saying, quote, Hairston has become one of the most undervalued corners in the 2025 NFL draft class. From a pure man coverage perspective, he has one of the highest upsides in this class. His combination of length, ball skills, and recovery speed should allow him to match up against a variety of play styles and body types. And obviously, if you watch the Bills down the stretch, their secondary just had issues. We talked the other day needing to upgrade over a guy like DeMar Hamlin at safety. Adding another corner could certainly be in the cards as well. Hairston, I think, is an ascending player that has not yet reached his potential, so keep an eye on him as a day 2 possibility. One of the more unique players in this draft, Savion Williams, the wide receiver out of TCU, who had 6 touchdowns and 600 yards receiving last year. But something they did last year, and as a TCU alum, I've watched every one of his games, they kind of created a wild frog package for him where he took a lot of direct snaps. He rushed for over 300 yards. They lined him up at running back some, and he's 6'3", 6'4", 230 pounds, so he's a lot to deal with. So I think the Bills could use him in a lot of creative ways. I don't think this is like a Taysom Hill situation. I think he'll play more receiver, but you could put him in the backfield, and you get Josh Allen another piece. Is he a true number 1 dominant player? No, but I think it adds another number 2, number 3 type weapon, which you have a lot of already with Khalil, Shakir, Kincaid, and obviously Dawson Knox and all the other pieces, James Cook out of the backfield. I think he's a guy talking about Savion that's pretty interesting. And obviously you're hoping these two take that next step forward with Khalil Shakir and Keon Coleman. But you add Savion Williams to the mix. I think it's a fun kind of chess piece for Joe Brady to get creative with next season. I think he complements Shakir's game pretty well, gives you another big body on the outside. But he's more versatile than a Keon Coleman. Coleman's probably a better pure, like, just one-on-one jump ball receiver guy, but I think Savion can give you some of that. You can bring him in motion. You can bring him out of the backfield. So excited to see whoever drafts him, what they do with him. And Joe Brady, who I think is one of the better offensive minds, I think he get pretty creative here. All right, excuse me. Do you think the Bills should draft a wide receiver? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. I definitely think they need another weapon, and they're not going to have a ton of cap flexibility to spend a lot in free agency at this position. So maybe adding someone on day 2, early day 3 makes some sense. All right, no third-round picks, so we get into the 4th round. Demetrius Knight Jr., the linebacker out of South Carolina, early round 4. Again, the defense, we've talked about it, just hasn't been great the last couple of years. Some of that's due to they had to make some cuts. They had to make some tough decisions this past offseason. But a guy like Matt Milano's getting older. He has had some injury histories. They never really replaced a Tremaine Edmonds, so you put Knight in there. He's pretty athletic. He can move and play in coverage. Gives you a little pass rush as well. Also, not a great tackler. His missed tackle rate was a little higher than you would like. He's not great in one-on-one, so probably a backup at first that plays on special teams, but I do think he's a developmental guy that could become a starter down the road. Okay, Billy Bowman Jr., who had an up-and-down Senior Bowl week for coming out of Oklahoma. He's a little undersized, 5'9". He's got decent coverage skills, but he's not a great athlete. I think the best role for him is like a nickel safety hybrid. I don't think he's a day one starter, but he was a team captain at Oklahoma, very well-respected player. He'll fit into the locker room. He'll give you a lot of juice on special teams. And again, I think developmental has the chance to be a starter down the road. I don't think on day one, though. Elijah Roberts here in the 5th round, the defensive tackle out of SMU. Obviously, you get to day 3 here. You're talking about guys who are hopefully depth pieces and, maybe down the road become starters. But if they can give you something from day 1, you definitely take it. He's very powerful, good contact balance, so he can hold up his own even with big blocks and taking double teams and all of that. Not the quickest guy. You're not going to confuse him with, Dexter Lawrence being a massive guy that can move. But he's an energy guy. He brings juice. He's got limited athleticism, but backup defensive tackle, you could work with that. And then Jackson Slater, the offensive lineman out of Sacramento State. He's an intriguing player. I was reading up on him the other day that teams are intrigued with him. Developmental guard that with maybe like a redshirt year could have a chance to start down the road. He's got good traits. He's pretty powerful, graded out well at the FCS level. Obviously, FCS to the NFL, it's a big leap. We know that. But Buffalo's pretty set on the offensive line. So you kind of set him in your backup rotation, give him a year to get into an NFL strength and conditioning program and, develop further. I think down the road you could have something here. Ja'Cory Brooks, as we'll go a little rapid fire with this 3 6th-round picks, receiver out of Louisville. Good speed, interesting player. Could be fun to use as like a returner potentially. Austin Brinkman, long snapper out of West Virginia, if they need to add a piece there as well. And then how about this? Riley Leonard, quarterback out of Notre Dame. I have no idea, A, if he'll get drafted, B, if he does, where he'll go. But he's kind of like the extreme poor man's Josh Allen. He's nowhere near the thrower, but he's a physical runner. He has a ton of heart. He's a winner. I think this is a guy you would like to bring into your locker room. I think he'd bring a lot to a quarterback room. And, the Bills probably wouldn't do this because Josh Allen runs a lot of those QB runs on 3rd, 4th, and short. But, down the road, if you're trying to limit those hits on Allen, maybe Riley Leonard gives you some of that. So, intriguing guy. I think ideally a QB3 initially that you keep on your 53-man roster. But maybe he turns into something. He's got a long way to go, though, as a passer. Okay, there you go. Grade our first Bills mock draft here on the Bills Breakdown, A, B, C, D, or F. Let us know how you guys think we did. And again, let's take down the Jets Report in subscribers. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button. Share that link below with a friend and tell them to subscribe as well if they're a part of Bills Mafia, youtube.com/BillsNews. My name is Harrison Graham. See you guys soon.